Manever I say ma PENDREAM TV. PENDREAM TV there, or see them yopo.
Memo akwa ba de ba PENDREAM TV so me sure say any day they can out here be subscribe to channel no click the bell so say the news to house on sabit me can tell me what here. And Metro TV Good Morning Ghana so and Dr. Randy Abi Ebisa Kwesi Pratt or Insight newspaper. In semi-fan lithium, comma air cost or memoir, mouthful bebre, HM says lithium agreement, a buying a cosign or a dear, yes, is here, MBY or more money or more sign agreement in the ACCA. Nona AM as a Pratt, a better and I've been found, said, and a Yanasa lithium agreement, no, a dear, a young cry, group and a buying the address, a comedy, joke cry, was our agreement, no more sign home. Now, I say, here mineral friend in lithium and check lithium ebe mineral be hu be hia wo wiase afa na nyina anti sen oduman kuma nyankopon ache mineral ti sese na obi betu na wo de 10% and e tre se jatna ho ama omasisi ye impa ene mukmasa Kwesi Pratt e tre na adwan ka kira ban ni se omunja ya agro no na omunhwe na omun negotiate sa lithium deal no enkasa bebre yankona mi nkobo video no na hwe nsema Kwesi Pratt de tuja
of the discussions on lithium so far. I'm enjoying it.
Well, a lot of the discussions are completely uninformed.
Uninformed?
Completely uninformed.
Okay.
I mean, I've heard people say that in the past, we negotiated and got 5% royalties. And now we are getting 10% royalties. And even in some instances, we are getting 13% royalty. And therefore, it's an improvement.
Yes.
That's a joke. They should go to Niger. Niger was exploiting their uranium deposits and so on. And the French company, which won the lease agreement, was paying them 5% royalties. The Nigerians struggled. They wanted more royalties. So eventually France agreed to pay them 12.5% royalties. Do you know, Randy, that they get less for 12.5% royalties than they were getting for 5% royalties?
How?
But that's the issue. You understand? Some people explain it in terms of smart accounting and so on. There are all kinds of explanations. But the point is that it is not the royalty you charge which determines the benefits you get. You understand? And I think that point was made quite eloquently, you know, in the piece which was circulated by Mr. Fuchikata and Mr. Fianza, you know. Then again, I mean, yesterday I read another thing which came from Mr. Fuchikata and Kofi Ansan. They were saying that, look, the 10% should become the level below which we cannot go. We should negotiate on the 10%. Now, the point is that the fact that we used to charge 5% royalty does not necessarily make that a standard for us.
In fact, that was the law. The law was a minimum of...
But I'm saying that
we have changed the law.
Yeah, that standard itself can be improved. So that's an argument that I don't want to hear at all. Now, for me, what are the most important considerations? One of the most important considerations in this debate is that lithium is a non-renewable natural resource. Non-renewable natural resource. So if you take it to the ground and you export it, it's gone forever. It's not coming back. You can't grow it again. It's gone. Gone forever. Okay. Now, if you look at the way the world is moving, lithium is going to become one of the most important resources in the world. As if you're talking about moving from fossil fuels and so on, you can't do without lithium. If you're talking about solar energy, you can't do without lithium. You understand? Even if you're talking about wind energy and so on, lithium becomes extremely important because it's an essential ingredient in the manufacture of batteries and so on. Now, you have to also understand that there are only 21 countries with lithium, proven lithium deposits. 21 countries. Now, if you take all the 21 countries, in terms of quantity and so on, Ghana is the 21st. We are the last. So, therefore, in all of these discussions, one of the things we should be considering is whether or not we actually want to dig the lithium now that we are not ready to use it, or want to keep it in the ground until such time that we are ready to use it. These are two clear options that we face. You understand? Because it may very well be that we can develop a capacity to use our own lithium in terms of the move away from all these fossil fuels, green energy, to provide green energy and so on, in the near future. So another very important question to ask is that what is the policy framework within which we locate this granting of lease agreement? What is our policy? What is our energy policy? And so on. So you cannot have this discussion without reference to an energy policy within which you locate the exploitation of lithium and so on. You understand? But when I came this morning, I came a little earlier, and I found the agreement on your table. So I started going through it. And I'm finding things which have never been stated. I found, for example, in the agreement that this lease agreement does not only cover lithium. It covers all other minerals which can be found in the location.
That's true.
The area of concession.
That's true.
But that's serious. And I discovered that only this morning when I came here and I saw the agreement lying here and I decided to read it. So it may include gold.
Yeah, any mineral found.
Any mineral found there. Because we haven't done exploration for the other minerals and so on. What we have done is to do an evaluation for lithium. Now, the drafters of the agreement themselves take cognizance of the fact that there could be other minerals in the area or in the area which is being leased. And they make provisions for that. So don't let us kid ourselves. We are talking about everything. Now, if you read the first statement which was issued by Mr. Fui Chikata and Kofi Ansah, they make the point that people are suspicious of what is happening because of the way we've gone about this agreement and even the manner in which it was announced. And they make the point that it has been announced as if it's a fait accompli. And that raises substantial problems given the history that this country has about such agreements and so on, Now my point, and this is the most important point, the lithium we have found does not belong to those who are in government today. It does not belong to the technocrats who are talking so much. It does not belong to the so-called experts. The lithium we have found belongs to the people of Ghana in their collective. And no decision should be made about this lithium until there's been a vigorous public debate and until it has been subjected to the approval of the sovereign people of Ghana. What I mean, therefore, is that only the elected representatives of the people of Ghana must make the final decision. This is not a technical decision to be made in corners. This is not a legal decision to be made by only lawyers. All the people of Ghana have a right to express themselves on this matter and to determine whether or not this agreement is good or bad. I'm getting extremely worried about the tone of the debate. And I'm sure that my brother Eric and Randy, you've heard public officials coming up and saying that those who are opposed to this agreement, they don't know anything. Virtually saying that all those who are opposed to this agreement are blockheads and so on. How can you discuss a public matter like granting of a lease to a foreign multinational to take out such an important resource within the context of the ignorant and the knowledgeable? How can you do that? I think it's a huge problem. In any case, in the course of the debate, those who claim to be experts and so on, Master, have been found out to be, I have to choose my words carefully. It's been established that they know very little. For example, there's a public servant high up in the Minerals Commission so on, who was on Dra FM, debating some guy from Imani. And the guy from Imani made the point that Zimbabwe had actually passed a law which has banned the export of concentrates. And this guy there said it's not true. This public official who claims to be an expert as well said it's not true, it's never happened before. And the guy from Imani quickly pulls out the law that Zimbabwe has passed. So those pretending to be experts and so on, they may not be so knowledgeable. They may not know everything. They may not be the experts that they claim they are. They pretend to be experts only because they're in certain sensitive positions and so on. Now, Randy, finally, yesterday morning, I woke up in the morning and I wanted to understand the debate, where the debate had reached. So I picked the Ghanaian newspapers. And Randy, I was shocked. Most of the newspapers were claiming that the experts had endorsed the agreement. And in fact, they were using the statement which had been put out by Mr. Fuichi Kata and Kofi Ansah to show that even now the experts have come on board. So I got a copy of the statement which had been put. And the statement is nowhere near endorsing this agreement. The very first paragraph of the statement talks about how the agreement can be improved. The very first paragraph. And yet our newspapers managed to create the impression that the two of them had endorsed the agreement. I think we should be careful. Those of us in journalism, we ought to be careful.
Right.
I think sometimes we deliberately mislead the population. And it is not good, especially when you are talking about the exploitation of such a vital resource as lithium. You understand? I'm sure you saw those newspapers yesterday.
Yes.
Incredible. How do you do that?
Right.